Hello my dear student, welcome to my channel Eduhelper. Today I will discuss about blood and its function. Hope you will enjoy this class. After watching this class, if you have any question, please write down on comment box and hope I will give your answer as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video. Hello my dear student, today I am going to describe about blood circulation in human body, and also I will discuss about liquid connective tissue. Liquid connective tissue mean that blood and lymph, so together you can say that liquid connective tissue. Liquid connective tissue are very important for our body. It helps different kind of metabolism and transportation of different kinds of gaseous component. First of all, you know that blood is a body fluid in humans and other animals that delivers necessary substances such as nutrient and oxygen to the cell and transports metabolic waste products away from those same cells. In vertebrates, it is composed of blood cells suspended in blood plasma. Plasma, which constitutes 55% of blood fluid, is mostly water and contains protein, glucose, mineral ions, hormones, carbon dioxide, and blood cells themselves. Albumin is the main protein in plasma, and it is functions to regulate the colloidal osmotic pressure of blood. So you will get more idea about blood in a higher class. So now I am going to describe about functions of blood. Okay. Supply of the oxygen to tissue, you can say bound to hemoglobin, which is carried in red blood cell. And also removal of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is transported in the form of sodium bicarbonate dissolved in the plasma. It carries carbon dioxide from the tissue to the lungs, which is then expelled during expiration. And also help transportation of digested food. Removal of waste such as carbon dioxide, urea and lactic acid. Immunological functions including circulation of white blood cell and detection of foreign materials by antibodies. Blood also help in a case of coagulation, the response to a broken blood vessels, the conversion of blood from a liquid to a semi-solid gel to stop bleeding. Messenger functions including the transport of hormones and the signaling of tissue damage. Regulation of core body temperature, and lastly hydraulic function is the one of the important function of blood. Okay, now I'm going to describe about components of blood. Blood is a type of liquid connective tissue. It has mainly two components, plasma and blood cells. First of all, I am going to describe about plasma. About 55% of blood is blood plasma, a fluid that is the blood's liquid medium, which by itself is straw yellow in color the blood plasma volume total of 2.7 to 3 liters in an average human. It is essential an aqueous solution containing 92% water, 8% blood plasma protein, and trace amount of other materials. Plasma circulates dissolved nutrients such as glucose, amino acid, and fatty acids, and removes waste products such as carbon dioxide, urea, and lactic acid. Other important components include serum albumin, blood clotting factor, immunoglobulins, lipoprotein particles, various other proteins, various electrolytes. The term serum refers to plasma from which the clotting proteins have been removed. Most of the proteins remaining are albumin and immunoglobulin. Okay, now I am going to describe about the most important component of blood is that blood corpuscles. A blood cell, also called a hematopoietic cell or hemocyte or hematocyte, is a cell produced through hematopoiesis and found mainly in the blood. Major types of blood cell include red blood cell, you can say erythrocyte, white blood cell, leukocyte, and platelets, thrombocyte. Together, these three kinds of blood cell add up to a total 45% of blood tissue by volume, with the remaining 55% of volume composed of plasma. The liquid component of blood looks red. First of all, I am going to describe about red blood cell or erythrocyte. Red blood cell or erythrocyte primarily carry oxygen and collect carbon dioxide through the use of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is an iron-contained protein that gives red blood cells their color and facilitates transportation of oxygen from the lung to tissue and carbon dioxide from tissue to the lung to be exhaled. Red blood cells are the most abundant cell in the blood, accounting for about 40 to 45% of its volume. Red blood cells are circular, biconcave, disc-shaped, and deformable to allow them to squeezing through narrow capillaries. They don't have a nucleus. Red blood cells are much smaller than most of the human cells. Red blood cells are formed in the red bone marrow from the hematopoiesis stem cells in a process known as erythropoiesis. In adult, about 2.4 million red blood cells are produced each second. The normal red blood cell counts in 4.5 to 5 millions per cubic millimeter. Red blood cells have a lifespan of approximately 100 to 120 days. After they have completed their lifespan, they are removed from the bloodstream by the spleen. Mature red blood cells are unique among cells in a human body in that they lack a nucleus. The condition of having too few red blood cells is known as anemia, while having too many is polycythemia. Erythrocyte sedimentation rates is the rate at which red blood cells sink to the bottom. Normal value of sedimentation rate 3 to 5 millimeter per hour in males and 4 to 7 millimeter per hour in female. Okay, now I want to describe about white blood cell. White blood cell, most important cell, which help to remove different kinds of antigen. White blood cell, also called leukocyte, are the cell of the immune system involving the body against both infectious disease and foreign materials. They are produced and derived from multiprotein cells in the bone marrow known as hematopoietic stem cells. Leukocytes are found throughout the body, including the blood and lymphatic system. There are a variety of types of white blood cells that serve specific roles in the human immune system. White blood cells constitute approximately 1% of the blood volume. White blood cells are divided into granulocyte and agranulocyte. So granular mean that solid particles, agranulocyte mean that there has no solid particles or no nucleus. The form of nucleus is not granular look like. That is why you can say that agranulocyte, and here and the nucleus form like a granular. That is why you can say granulocyte. Distinguished by the presence of absence of granular in the cytoplasm. Granulocytes include basophil, eosinophil, neutrophil, and mast cell. Granulocyte includes lymphocyte and monocyte. The condition of having too few white blood cells in leukopenia, while having too many is leukocytosis. There are individual terms for the lack of overabundance of specific types of white blood cell. The number of white blood cell in circulation is commonly increased in the incidence of infection. Many hematologist cancer are based on the inappropriate production of white blood cell. Lastly, I am going to describe about the small size blood particles or blood corpuscles is called platelets or thrombocyte. Thrombocytes are very small, irregular shaped, clear cell fragments 2 to 3 micrometer in diameter, which derived from the fragmentation of megakaryocyte. The average lifespan of a platelet is normally just 5 to 9 days. Platelets are a natural source of growth factors. They circulate in the blood of mammals and are involved in hemostasis, leading to the formation of blood clots. Platelets release thread-like fiber to form these clots. The normal range 15,000 to 450,000 per cubic meter. If the number of platelets is too low, excessive blood can occur. Excessive bleeding can occur. However, if the number of platelets is too high, blood clots can form thrombosis, which may obstruct blood vessel and result in such event as a stroke, myocardial infarction, pulmonary embolism, or blockage of blood vessel to the other part of the body, such as the extremities of the arm or leg. An abnormality or disease of platelets is called thrombocytopathy, which can be either a low number of platelets, a decrease in function of platelets, or an increase in the number of platelets. Both are you can say abnormality of blood disease. There are disorders that reduce the number of platelets, such as heparin induced thrombocytopenia or thrombotic, that typical causes thrombosis or clot or instead of bleeding. Platelets release a multitude of growth factors, including PDGF, the full form of PDGF, platelet derived growth factor, a potent chemotactic agent, and TGF beta, which stimulates the deposition of extracellular matrix. Both of these growth factors have been shown to play a significant role in the repair and regeneration of connective tissue. Other healing associated growth factors produced by the platelets include basic fibroblast growth factor, insulin like growth factor, platelet derived epidermal growth factor, and vascular endothelial growth factor. Local application of these factors in increased concentrations through platelets rich plasma has been used as an adjacent to wound healing for several decades. Okay, so finally there has a activity Hope you will complete at your home, and you can submit through YouTube comments box or Messenger or Facebook. No problem at all. Draw this table in your notebook and fill it in groups. Note the difference between red blood corpuscle and white blood corpuscle. There has 5 characteristics, and you should write red blood corpuscles and white blood corpuscles. What are the difference among them? Okay, so next class I will describe about different kinds of blood vessels like artery, vein and capillaries. And after watching this video, if you have any question, please write down on comment box. I will try to give your answer as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching this video till end.